What is up, dudes and dudettes? It is I, Trainer Hotto, and today we're here with a different style of video. Today we're going to be exploring the myths and legends of the Pokemon universe. This series will be dedicated to helping you guys understand the overall mythology of the Pokemon universe and how it was created. For this episode, more specifically Kanto, because this region only contains 5 legendary or mythical Pokemon, it would be a good way for me to ease into the series and provide a good stepping off point for me to also explore regions later on in the Pokemon world. As I plan to do a video for every region, though with how many legendary and mythical Pokemon there are in later regions, we may have to split them up into separate videos. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's go ahead and without further ado, get into it. Let's start with the big bad himself, Mewtwo. Perhaps the most famous and supposedly the most powerful of the legendaries, but we'll talk about that later. Mewtwo has shown some pretty incredible feats that would be terrifying to any trainer or Pokemon. Even within the first Pokemon movie, we don't ever see him push to his absolute limit, not even against Mew. But the issue with Mewtwo is that he doesn't really do anything for the overall lore of the Pokemon universe, as all he is a genetic clone of Mew. But if you've watched the first Pokemon movie, then you already know all of this, so it's not like I'm breaking any sort of new ground here. He just simply doesn't have anything to do with any aspect of the world or the universe being formed as we see it today. Mew, on the other hand, does have its own little piece of the creation of the Pokemon world. Mew is supposedly the genetic ancestor of all Pokemon, meaning that Charizard you have? Yeah, Mew is its great
2,000 years later.
great-grandfather. It should also be mentioned that there were a bunch of Mews at one point, but it seems that maybe all but one of them have gone extinct, because we have found fossils of Mew in South America of all places. No, that is not a lie. There's a Pokedex entry from Pokemon Fire Red that says, and I quote, "A Pokemon of South America thought to have been extinct." Freaking wild, right? The next Pokemon, or should I say group of Pokemon that we're going to be talking about, is the legendary bird trio, Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno. All 3 of these birds seem to have the exact same function within the world of Pokemon, however, it's not exactly clear what that function is. We see within the Pokemon 2000 movie that all 3 of these birds are needed to keep some sort of balance within the world. As one of the legendary birds are taken away from their island, storms immediately begin. The other birds begin to intrude on the other's territory, and Pokemon from all over the planet begin to feel that something's off. From information pulled from both the Pokedex and the movie, it seems one of 2 possibilities to me. First being that the legendary birds are focused around the changing of the seasons. No other Pokemon seems to be responsible for this aspect of the Pokemon world. While Moltres has multiple Pokedex entries stating that it is the sign of spring, and Articuno having multiple Pokedex entries stating that it's able to summon blizzards just with its wings. Which granted doesn't mean much considering that there are plenty of Pokemon able to summon blizzards whenever they want to, but I'm gonna go ahead and assume that Articuno's blizzards are more powerful than just some random Pokemon's blizzards. Zapdos, however, doesn't have any mention whatsoever of the changing of the seasons within its Pokedex, but it does say that it lives in thunderstorms, and thunderstorms typically show up around the spring to summer months, so it's possible that Zapdos controls or represents that aspect of the seasons. The other theory I have is they have some degree of climate control. This idea primarily comes from the movie where, once again, when one of the legendary birds are captured, the world is immediately set off balance and a terrible storm starts. This may even explain the territory aspect of the birds, with each one of them perching themselves in a way to best keep themselves far enough away to keep the world in balance, but not too far away to offset it. Though I find the territory part a little bit sketchy, just because if that was the case, then they probably wouldn't be in the same ocean like we see in the movie, or even within the same region. But then again, if we take a look at the Kanto map, we can see that the location of each of the legendary birds are in a triangle-ish shape, so that may help space them out properly and everything. It's an iffy theory, I'll give you that. Well guys, that was all of the legendary and mythical Pokemon of the Kanto region. In due time, I will be working on the legendary and mythical Pokemon of other regions as well. And maybe the Riku character arc video if I ever sit down and write the damn script. So make sure to subscribe to keep up with my new videos when they come out. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a like. Thanks for watching everybody, keep rocking and rolling, and I'll see y'all later.